Welcome to my keto recovery. I just wanted to kind of make a recap video. I've actually tried this once already, and I made the video and I forgot to mention some things, and I didn't want to go back and try to edit and splice in another part of the video. So I decided just to reshoot the whole thing again and kind of talk about my experience here at Keto Friendsgiving. So I went to Keto Friendsgiving in Memphis, which is organized by Judith from Keto for the Soul. And she did a fantastic job. I'll kind of get into the people I met there. This is my first time meeting, except for one person on Clubhouse who I've met in person already. I met all these people that I've met on Clubhouse, and now had the chance to meet them in person. And it's just a really good positive experience, not just the event itself, but just the event of meeting everyone and having conversations, and they're sharing the same excitement you have about this lifestyle and what you get out of it. So the event happened just this last weekend here. It was held on November 13th in downtown Memphis. It was, so I had basically left Thursday night because we were getting a snowstorm in Minnesota, and not knowing, sometimes they predict a snowstorm and and usually the first snow of the year, which it was, it'll just hit the road or hit the ground and it won't really accumulate. But it can cause some traffic issues. So considering I was driving 12 hours, I wanted to try to get ahead of it. So my workday ended on Thursday, and I probably got on the road around 7:30 at night and drove all through the night and pulled into Memphis at 7:30 in the morning. It's like 7:45, I think. Was pulled right in. So my travel went pretty good on the way down, fairly uneventful, but it was just long, and I have to have some Zevia caffeine soda. I think it's called Dr. Zevia. It's like the Mountain Dew knockoff of Zevia. So travel went really well. Checked into my hotel. They let me check in early. And I went and worked out at Planet Fitness, and then went back to the room. That night we had a grocery haul, so I did get a couple hours of sleep in between that too after my workout. And then we did a grocery haul, which I did with Judith, Mary, and Desiree. Mary Daniels, I'll have to specify because there's more than one Mary I met this weekend. And we went to Costco, and first we went to Sam's Club, then we went to Costco, and kind of helped her finish off a lot of the groceries. I think she still had a few things left that she just went and grabbed. So, but she was very prepared, and this is a huge underhanded thing that she organized, and she did it in less than 2 months, I believe. I think, it was less than 2 months. So just to pull all this together and make it a success was just incredible. And she's already looking at next year, and it sounds like it's going to be in Memphis, so I'm looking forward to that and what things will be transpiring from that. But I had a really fun experience. It was great to see people, and being that I was raised in my parents' grocery store, physically wasn't raised, but I grew up in the industry, and I kind of knew my way around the grocery store and where to locate certain products and items and where you could find them. So, but yeah, it was great to hang out with them. And Teresa was another lady I had met. I think I've seen her on Clubhouse a little bit. I don't know as much about her, but she was there along with Desiree and Mary and myself. So, but yeah, it was really cool just to kind of hang out with them, have some free time. And I'm so glad that I went along and tried to help them out. So the next morning, I went back to the hotel. I was pretty tired, so I went to bed at a fairly reasonable time on Friday. And then I really wanted to check out the sites, so I went to bed pretty early. So I went and checked out Graceland. I didn't actually pay to do a tour. I just did you can do a thing right in the morning before they open and kind of walk the grounds a little bit. And you can't really get close to the front of the house, which I was kind of disappointed in, but I think you get like 30 yards away. If you ever see Graceland, the famous front of the house, that's kind of what I wanted to check out. But you can see it just, I don't know, I wish I was a little closer. But the real cool part of it is they have a meditation garden where his grave is located, and I think his parents and a brother and I think a grandson is also buried there. One of Lisa Marie's children passed away. I think it was last year. But it was really cool. And you saw like this pool, kind of the side of the house. And so it was enough to just kind of soak in Graceland and kind of see it, because I've heard so much about it growing up. After that, I just went and checked out the Sun Studios building, where a lot of famous artists have recorded. Elvis being one of them, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, B.B. King, Roy Orbison, just a huge litany of names that I can't remember them all, but it was kind of cool to see the building. And I watched the movie Walk the Line, where, a lot of these, a lot of those scenes in that movie for Johnny Cash were shot at Sun Studios. I don't think it was actually shot at the Sun Studios, but they referenced Sun Studios, so it was kind of cool to see that. Memphis has a lot of history with music down there, so. So I got to check out that. And then later on that, I think it was 10:30, 11, we went to Shelby Farms, which is a huge park in Memphis, or around Memphis, and did a walk around the lake, basically. And there I met Bronson, Natalie, and Joe Ray. And Joe Ray is fairly new to the Clubhouse community, and we actually were her personal Uber. She booked the wrong hotel. It was the right name of the hotel, but it was at a different location. But the cool thing about it was really close to Shelby Farms. So I'm like, well, I'll just swing over and pick you up. And I drove all three of us to Shelby Farms. We walked around. We were taking goofy photos, which you can see on Instagram and on my socials. And it was just fun to hang out and talk to them. And Bronson gave us a speed walking demonstration. I think I still got a video. I could probably post it. It was kind of funny, because I think speed walking is probably really good exercise, but you sure look ridiculous. But whatever, you do you. After that, and then we came to the event later that day. I think I arrived just after 2:00. And I drove Anita. Anita was right next door at a hotel that I was at, and she was looking for a ride, and I said, I'm happy to give you a ride. And it was a great opportunity to sit with her, and we talked about her, living the lifestyle, and I got to learn a lot about her and drive her downtown. And she was just a wonderful person, and her health journey has been amazing as well. I was glad to help her out, and we arrived pretty early. So when I got there, there was not many people there, and the women were busy in the kitchen. I definitely wanted to stay out of their way, because I'm not exactly great at food prep, but they were busy working, and I could tell and Judith had told me she was planning to go in at 8:00 that morning. So this is like 2 in the afternoon by this point. So she'd already been in there like 6 hours, I would imagine. So I definitely want to stay out of their way, but I definitely wanted to take them in later. But the events itself and the people I met, the big name there that most people in this community would know, whether you're on Clubhouse or not, is Dr. Ken Berry, very big on YouTube. And the one I'll say about Ken is, there's a lot I could say about him, but genuinely the thing that impressed me the most is the person that you're seeing in the videos is the person you're seeing when you meet him. I don't think he's not putting on a show when he's putting on his videos. He's very genuine. He's very interested to learn into your story. And the one thing I was also impressed with is how he went around to like individual people, and we're talking with them one-on-one, listening to their story, and he's asking questions about their experience and what they went through and stuff. And I joked with him too, because long story short, I found out my grandfather had some relatives. He didn't know his biological father, and his relatives originated from Tennessee. So now he's got brothers and sisters in Tennessee. We figured that out a few years ago. So I joked with him that I've got Tennessee roots, and he's like, "You're part redneck," in his Ken Berry voice. So I thought that was kind of and then we exchanged high fives. So, he was just a real joy, and if you ever get a chance to meet him, it'll be a great experience for you. He's so genuine. And then, of course, Nisha was with him, his wife, and I got to talk with her one-on-one, and I told her how much I enjoyed the lives that her and Ken do and how she kind of chimes in. And also, she brings a lot of experience. I think Nisha's kind of undervalued. I mean, Dr. Ken, don't get me wrong, he's got a lot of great information, and he's a family physician, and he's lived this life too. He was also on the standard American diet and had some health issues. But Nisha's a registered nurse, and she brings a lot of that experience to this discussion. And I've always enjoyed her on her videos and in those lives as well. I think she really keeps Dr. Ken in check, and is a great asset to those lives. If you ever get a chance to watch them, it's great when you're starting out in this lifestyle. You can ask them direct questions, and they'll have at least maybe not a complete answer for everything, but at least ideas for you. So I would take advantage of those. And then, of course, just speaking a little bit more about Judith, even though I met her the night before, just a wonderful person. I really appreciate her because she's somebody from the upper Midwest like I am, and you can tell that, she has that type of personality, just very caring, very, they use the term Minnesota nice here, but in the upper Midwest, people are just generally very nice and warm when you initially greet them. And you could definitely sense that off her. And her husband, Torian, I got to meet as well, and he's a jokester. Absolutely cracked me up, especially at the grocery haul. He was making jokes. Another person I met that I've really been waiting to meet a long time is Mary Roberts. A lot like me, she deals with a lot of issues with food addiction and having a ketogenic approach to that. And I listened to her in a lot of videos and a lot of interviews and podcasts. And every time she's talking, it's just like, yes, I have this experience too. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. And there's a lot I agree in her approach and her philosophy and having a relationship with food, and how sometimes an addiction, maybe it's part of a sugar addiction, but it can also be other things, which I think mine is beyond that. It's not just related to sugar and carbohydrates. I think there's other things involved with that. But the way she talks about a ketogenic approach to dealing with food addiction is where I soak up a lot of information. And she's associated with Jessica Reynolds as well. And I've listened to Jessica a lot. She wasn't at the event, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure I'll run into her at some point as well. So I'll be excited to meet her as well. The next person that I really was like blown away with, I've talked to her a lot on Clubhouse, and I've been impressed by what she says, but in person, she's very different and just a delight to be on, is Autumn Jones of Watch Autumn Keto. She's a whole different animal in person. I'm just really appreciative of how genuine and warm. And she actually came up and asked me for a photo, which blew my socks off, because it's like, I thought I'd have to ask you for a photo, but no, she asked me for a photo. And her husband, Richard, I got to talk with him a little bit too. I wish I had talked to him a little bit more, because I think we get along really good. But just the guy seems like he's got an internal engine for just always being happy. Like, how Ed McMahon was sitting on the couch with Johnny Carson and he's always laughing. That's what I feel like Richard is, except I think he's really genuine about it. I hope to talk to him more. I'm pretty sure I'll run into Autumn at events, and usually Richard is tagging along from what I understand. So I'll get an opportunity to get to know him better as well. Bronson, who I did the Shelby Farms walk with as well. I was kind of his unofficial Uber this weekend, and I was glad to do it. Drove him around a little bit to Shelby Farms and back from the event. So, and his, I can say it, girlfriend, Natalie, I drove them around as well, and just really nice people. Bronson's really into fitness, and that's, I know, one area I'm really going to be striving to improve. Right now I'm just doing some stuff for weight loss and trying to hold on to the muscle I do have, maybe build it a little bit, but at least not lose muscle. And then Natalie, she's into bodybuilding, and just really, really a fun person. And I enjoyed hearing about, where she was from, and the experience of where she lived, and kind of her background as well. Another person I met that I've talked to a lot was the other doctor at the event, was Dr. Mila, functional medicine doctor. Hopefully, I think she's functional medicine, hopefully I'm not wrong. Just, she's a little shy, but was just a wonderful, warm, beautiful person. And I saw her little boy, I think his name is Chance, I hope I'm getting that right. And I enjoyed interacting with him too. And he was just, it was fun. It was fun to have that little kid energy around and hanging out with us. So, but I love talking with her, and the wisdom she brings on Clubhouse is just immense. And, you know, she basically, I'm kind of paraphrasing her story and I hope I'm getting it right, but she's in the medical field, and she basically left a practice and started her own thing because her patients were getting sicker and what she was recommending wasn't working. And she kind of discovered or explored a ketogenic lifestyle, maybe not just for herself, but for her patients, and, you know, found out that she could help people a lot more. And just decided to start her own practice and try to help people on her own. And that's very commendable and probably very intimidating. So I've got nothing but respect for her, because it's a lot of security to move away from that. So, but she also hosts a podcast as well, and just very involved in the community. Mary Daniels I met, and I met her husband as well, Andy, and she's as dynamic as she is in person as well. She's very powerful on Clubhouse, and she brings a lot of energy. I've always appreciated that, and she's very passionate about this lifestyle and helping others and just really getting into a good mindset. To meet her in person, she's just very warm, and she's got this like Farrah Fawcett hairdo that she got done. I said she looked like Farrah Fawcett with her hair, and she has 5 children. It's hard to believe that she's got that kind of energy with 5 children, and all of her children were at the event, and I enjoyed their presence so much. It was great to see such young kids, and just see her with her family. There was a couple families there, and she was the big one, and I just enjoyed seeing them. I think it was making them a little bit stressed, but at the same time, my side where what do I want to say? Not my jealous side, but my indulgent side, I guess is a better way to say it. Is that I wanted to see her kids, and it's like, you know, I don't care if it stresses you out, just bring her kids. So, but they were fun, and I'm glad they were at the event, and I'm glad she could bring her family. Desiree also came with her family. I didn't get to talk to her husband, unfortunately. A few regrets I had is I just didn't make some connections like I wanted, but hopefully I'll be running to them at another event. But she's been traveling around in an RV this summer, has Mary Daniels. But she's kind of been off the grid with Clubhouse lately, but she's kind of touched base more recently. But it was good to touch up with her and kind of catch up with what happened in her RV adventures and the stories she told us. And she's just just similar to Mary, where she's just as dynamic as she is in person, and just a wonder to be around. And the both of them just make me smile and laugh, and that's just a wonderful quality to have. And also, I think her 2 boys that she had with her were kind of stressing her out a little bit as well, but I wanted to let them know that I did appreciate them bringing their families, even though if it didn't make them feel the most comfortable. So either way, I'm glad that they brought their children. Joe Ray, who I mentioned earlier, I did the walk around Shelby Farms with. She, unfortunately, again, she booked the wrong hotel. So I had to go pick her up, and we didn't realize it till we're like, oh, we're down in the lobby waiting for you. Are you coming? And she's like, I think I booked the wrong hotel. So I was happy to pick her up and be her personal Uber on some of these drives. So I just really, the one thing I enjoyed about her is she's newer to the Clubhouse space. I think she's only been in a couple months, and she knew about it through Autumn. So that's how she kind of came in. But she's kind of come into this community and jumped in like she's one of us regulars. And it's not like she's a new person. She's brought her own experience, shared her own stories. And, you know, the other thing with her is I got to talk with her a lot. And we're both in the corporate world, almost similar industries as well. So, you know, we have our stories and our life experiences that we're talking about with children and a family. And, just working in the corporate world and what that all is involved in. And she actually just changed jobs, and I changed positions within the company I'm working with just this summer. So we talked about that. And anyway, I just appreciated her, and she's a new person. And it leaves me optimistic to meet more people in this community as well, newer people. I like the people we have now, but I'm just looking forward to this community growing. So, but she just jumped in. Another person I ran into was Legenia. I spoke to her very briefly. Again, one of my regrets is I didn't actually sit and talk with her a little bit more, because she was one of the people that was very involved in the cooking process and making our food. I was trying to stay out of the way, and we spoke to her very briefly in the serving line. And again, I can't commend the work that she did and the recipes that she was involved with and how delicious everything tasted. And I don't know if I touched on that, but everything I ate, and I tasted everything, was delicious. And there's one thing I was skeptical about by Abby from House of Keto was making. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much, but it was like this, it had like kind of like a Greek salad, I guess you might say, almost. Maybe that's not what it is, but it's like had cucumbers, like bell peppers, cherry tomatoes, feta cheese, and there was some spices and oil in there or something. But I didn't get any tomatoes with it. I can't do cherry tomatoes, so I took everything else. And I was really skeptical about cucumbers because I really don't like cucumbers. But they turned me on to this, and I ate it, and it was actually really good. And I learned that there's something called an English cucumber. So I've got to try that recipe. So, but yeah, so unfortunately I didn't get to talk to her as much. And I told her that, one of my regrets is that we're getting a picture together next time. And I'll look forward to talking with her more next time. But definitely I'm gonna hook up and connect with her next time we meet in person. Erica Bell, another one of my small regrets is I didn't get a photo with Erica. I got to talk to her quite a bit, but I did not get a photo with her. And I couldn't believe I didn't get a photo with Erica. I've talked to her on Clubhouse so much. I've learned so much from her. She's hosted great rooms. One of the first rooms in the morning is her room that she hosts a lot. And I'm definitely wanting to seek her out and get that photo. That's the first thing I'll do with Legenia and Erica is tell them that we have to get a photo first, and then everything else we can do in between. So, yeah, Erica I've loved. She's got one of the best laughs on Clubhouse. I enjoy hearing her laugh. It brings me so much joy to hear her laugh because it's just one of those laughs that makes you just laugh. So she's just wonderful that way. And then I met Jen briefly as well. I don't know if Jen's newer to the space or if, sometimes I just didn't notice her, but she brought her husband as well, and she's been in this lifestyle. I did recognize her on Clubhouse when she introduced herself and came up and introduced herself, and her husband was a Mandalorian fan, which I love The Mandalorian. So I had that going with him as well. And then the one person a couple people I bonded with that weren't necessarily on Clubhouse from what I know. I think, from our conversation, I think they said they knew about Clubhouse, but they just hadn't pulled the trigger on it yet. And it was Natalie and her husband, Charlie, from Paragold. And the reason we hit it off is I've got a friend from high school who lives in Paragold. And we connected that way. And so we were looking up each other there. And I was texting my friend from high school. I said, I've got Natalie and Charlie here from Paragold. And so she's looking up them and they're looking up her like, oh, we've got mutual friends. They got like 10 mutual friends. Paragold, I think, is like 27,000 people. So it's a bigger city, but it's not very huge. So a city that size, you're probably, and I think my friend from high school, she's lived there a while. And she, you're bound to have connections with if you've both lived in that community for a long time. And the other thing too is that my friend from high school, I hope she makes it next year because she only lives, I think it's just over an hour away. And she's got a type 1 daughter, and she's kind of into this lifestyle as well. I think partially for her daughter, although it's, type 1, you always need insulin, but you can really have some health benefits if you're in a ketogenic lifestyle. And then another person I met, she introduced herself to me. I don't think I would have recognized her, is RC. And I think I told her this on Clubhouse this morning. She's got the most she's got a really beautiful smile. And I just love talking with her and the experience that she went through with her health journey and, what we've done in the lifestyle. But I'm so glad people came up and introduced themselves to me, because I was so excited and genuine to learn more about their journeys and just share our enthusiasm about this lifestyle. But yeah, I'm not choosing to ignore anyone by omission. Sometimes I just didn't recognize people, and there's some people that stepped in, approached me, RC being one, Jen being another. So I was really appreciative of that, because I do appreciate their time and their contributions on Clubhouse all the time. And RC also skipped part of her class reunion and brought a friend with her, and it sounds like maybe made her keto. So that was wonderful. And then Marquita, that's another one of my little regrets, is I really didn't get a chance to talk to her. I think I said hi to her in the serving line. Again, she was very involved in the cooking process, one of the people in the kitchen. Absolutely delicious. She made this cornbread dressing, which I'd never really had before, and it tasted as awesome. I have no baseline for what cornbread dressing is supposed to taste like, but this is really delicious. She's the one that helped my great friend on Clubhouse, Triple J, and started coaching him. So I've got a lot of respect for her as a coach and turning his health around, but also just for the way Triple J lifts her up and talks about her. She just sounds like a really great, truly great and wonderful person. So I think I covered everybody, and I hope to God I didn't leave anybody out. I tried to cover everybody. If I did, I apologize profusely, but even if I did forget you, you did make an impression on me. I can say that the event really energized me overall. Clubhouse has really brought me into this lifestyle, but after the event, I had to jump on Clubhouse and talk about our experience and share stories. And I encourage anyone that's in not just the Clubhouse community, but if you're in the keto community, just to go to events like this, whether it's Friendsgiving or these conventions or those kind of things. It really changes your mindset when you're getting together with these people, and you're sharing your excitement, and you're sharing ideas, and you're sharing strategies, and you're even talking about challenges. It really changes how your outlook on this lifestyle, and it can really improve and strengthen a lot of things. And I'm so excited to do a lot more of these types of events. I want to be more involved and meet more people face to face, and go from there. So if you ever get a chance to take part in anything like this, I can highly recommend it. Whether it's Keto Friendsgiving next year, or these KetoCon in Austin, or Autumn's got her event, which is going to be in, I think it's in Cincinnati. Hopefully it's somewhere around there in September. There's Keto Orlando with Erica Bell is going to be doing that one. And there's a couple other ones as well, which I can't remember off the top of my head. But if you can make it to anything like that, it's really going to fuel you and energize you to improve yourself on this lifestyle. It just keeps you going. So that's kind of my summary of the whole event. The other quick thing is I did have breakfast the next morning with Natalie, Bronson, Judith, Desiree, Mary, and our Cheesecake Factory experience wasn't really great for brunch. They got our order wrong, and then then they prepped some of our food wrong, not mine, but some of the other people, and they said there wasn't sugar in the bacon, and it kind of sure tasted like they did have sugar in the bacon. So yeah, it was just really, and it was unfortunate that the service was so bad, but even though the service was so bad, I really enjoyed my time. At least I got a little extra time with those people as well. And Joe Ray was there too. And she had to like basically eat half of her meal and take off because she had a flight to catch. So it was unfortunate, like I said, how it ended, but I got more time with him, and that's a great thing with these events is I get time with these people, and I can't stress that enough. So it's my summary of the event. I hope you enjoyed it. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you at these events too, and I encourage you to take advantage of them.